But anyways, I think I must thank Srini. You covered half of my efforts. So I'll save time on talking more about the technology out there then. So the idea was to talk about, what we are doing in securing India. And there are multiple facets of it. One of the things which government is talking about is a smart city. And smart city as a biggest element is safe city. How do you make your people safe there? How do you ensure that such kind of events are really, go very smoothly? So those kind of things, and on a daily basis, how you can make sure that the cities are able to respond to any kind of emergency situations, any kind of a crime, and how can it be prevented? So all of those in mind. So I'm going to talk about case study of. I think it's an auspicious day. So we just heard about Puri. I'm going to talk about Kumbh Mela, which happened recently in Ujjain. So we were mandated to do 11 cities in Bhopal, in MP, sorry, and the problem was same. I think Schneider was given 75 days. We were given 60 days to be prepared for this. And it's not that we didn't knew that when Kumbh is going to happen. It was clear. But the way probably we decide in our procurement processes is such that you keep pushing the vendors at the end of the day, and you have to deliver. There is no other alternative options we get. So talking about the kind of mammoth size of Kumbh Mela is, and that's why I remember my childhood days, all Bollywood movie talking about Kumbh Mela, separation of brothers and mother, son, and all those. Probably 75 million people attending to it actually talks about the size of the event. And it was really, really something which, and I was Googling around, what was the size of the people or how many people actually visited London Olympics. Any guess? London Olympics was about 2 million people. And this was 75 million, right? We had to actually create those ecosystem across the city to ensure whatever we just heard from Srini, that every damn thing is working on those days when the event is happening. And this is like attended by who's who of the country, from politicians to bureaucrats to IAS, and think about people, everybody, and being managed by police officers, of course. Yeah, we can move on to the next slide, please. And while this was happening, the unfortunate part was there were twice natural calamities struck Ujjain. In spite of that, the administration was quick enough to come back on the work, and by probably our system also helped them to quickly make the system, make other security arrangements absolutely foolproof. It's a busy slide, but I think you must know what exactly goes into safe city environment. Now, we all do WhatsApp today, right? WhatsApp, Facebook, Twitter, we all do all of those. How do you pick the analytics? And this is good for the startup guys to think about it. How do you pick up analytics? What's going wrong? What's going up? Today, if you open your Facebook page, everybody would be talking about the notes only. Currency, 500,000, 500,000. You pick up the sentiments from there, right? So what's going on in the city? Or any Twitter or any social media. So the government asks us that this need to be connected to the social media so that they pick up the sentiments. If there are certain elements which are trying to create some kind of a nuisance around, it should be picked up from a Facebook, from a WhatsApp, from a Twitter, other social media elements. And that was it doesn't work, but if you see the top yellow boxes, all the social media was integrated into the command center. What else? If you look at the city-wide, automatic number plates, we talked about, video management system, command wall. Command wall are the places where the police officers can actually look at the events and can automatically respond to it. in case of any excellency, in case of any emergency, if there is any situation. So they can really work from this. And all the GIS map, mobile dispatch of ambulance, PCR vans, even the PCR vans have their own cameras on top of it, which can be deployed quickly at the places where probably the camera was not planned, and maybe suddenly the crowd has built up. So these vans are quickly deployable and then can transmit the data, the camera feed, to the command center for any kind of response mechanism. So all those PCR applications, I think the most important thing was the face recognition system. And this was something which was unique, because the customer really wanted that there is the no-fly list of people, and that data is available. We want that face recognition system to tally with the people who are going there from a certain entrance area which are sensitive, and we want them to be caught beforehand, right? So that was actually installed and really worked very well out there. And of course, complete ecosystem of data centers, et cetera, was created. One was Ujjain-based command center, and then on the top, it was also viewed at Bhopal, which was their headquarter, police headquarter, or whichever place they wanted to view it at. In addition to that, they really was having those PDAs and smart devices on which they can really go and look at, senior folks can really look at what's going on. Move on, please. All right, so this is a quick architecture, as they call it, and there were a lot of network which was either available or we need to really build it, because I think in the worst thing in the CCTV system or a surveillance system is the data. Data is really very heavy, and you really need to build the system back end, the backbone, really very robust. And if it is not robust, I mean, the data drop and all those things will actually hamper the entire solution deployment. So all these cities are now, after that, almost about 4,000 cameras are already installed. They are being monitored at all those 11 cities now: Jabalpur, Devas, Ujjain, Khandwa, etc. And they are also being monitored at Central Command Center, which is called State Level Command and Response Center, which basically manage the state-wise disaster management system. So this is pretty unique. I think if you look at all the states in the country, I would say MP is the most advanced, most progressive one to go for the latest and have city-wide deployment already available in the place. So they have already deployed 11 cities. They are going to deploy another 51 cities in another 1 year. So that will be the first state comprehensively having CCTV surveillance safe city system. I'll not dwell more on this. Another one was Bhubaneswar city surveillance. It was smaller in size, scale, but this was our stepping stone, where we actually learned, as Srini was again talking about the multinational companies, cultures, etc. I mean, we were not really the guys who go onto the street and install cameras. We are building guys always. We go into the buildings, we do IBMS, we do perimeter security and all those, and we contain with it. This was the first time we stepped out and said, okay, fine, citywide, what it takes. Let's step out, let's look at it. And this was very successful installation, after which we decided to be a lead player in the smart city domain. Move on, please. Securing strategic asset. I think we heard about some of the unfortunate incidences on our defense establishments. And all the idea about this was, and you guys can really pick up in terms of what new can be built up in terms of the threat perception, what could be the newer technology which can really give you the kind of solution to those threat perception, and how do you detect, So just move on, please. On the strategic asset, the important thing is how quickly you can detect or prevent these kind of incidences by proactive engagement. Detect the incident quickly and respond to it automatically. The response should be either automatic, within stipulated time, or without human intervention, or with whatever human intervention required. Depends on the situation to situation. So it can be as high and sophisticated as you see an intrusion, just start the bullets. As precise as that. So it's just depends on what actually the site demands. So go on to the next slide, please. So basically the solutions when we recommend, when we design any solution for any kind of a such kind of asset, we actually divide them into three kinds. Like must have, this is something bare minimum you should have, right? It's like security. How much security you really need? Somebody needs Z category security, some are Y category security. People like us can roam around in the city and can enjoy life, right? So no security required. So similarly, any facility we divided into must have, good to have, and nice to have. And these technologies actually complement. And then you have line of defenses. You have first line of defense for the facility. If somebody, intrude into that for whatever reasons, second line of defense, third line of defense. So it's a comprehensive security design and basically command control center which can take those decisions to take actions. Move on, please. I'm not getting into the details of it, but if anybody needs, can reach out, and we would be more than happy to share details. Yeah, I have to wind up. Yeah. So very quickly, just go on. I'll just move quickly. This is kind of a air base, which was kind of under threat, and we designed a complete security in such kind of facilities by deploying different kind of sensors. Next, please. So these are very different kind of sensor which can be utilized, which can be deployed in such facility. Very quickly talking about seismic sensor takes care of if there is any vibration in that area, that can be detected. Power fence actually give you a good amount of current. Video analytics give you analytics in terms of if somebody is jumping the fence or things like that. Radar video surveillance give you without any physical cameras or tout wire, etc. This is wireless, Wi-Fi, radars which are there, and so on and so forth. There are multiple technologies which can be deployed. So looking at the terrain, because the terrain is different, the threat perceptions are different. Somewhere there are walls, etc., etc. So basis that, you actually decide what kind of sensor you would want to put, what kind of detection zones, absolutely no-fly zones, or absolutely, where you want to protect your facility. So different sensors actually come into the solution depending on terrain and the requirements. So these are the buried sensors. Some of these are kind of border kind of implementation. Again, these are cameras coupled with the perimeter fencing system. Critical assets where the aircrafts are parked. Again, these are very critical assets, and these need to be protected. So there are multiple ways, multiple technologies which can be used in preventing that. Again, these are the drains through which there had been incidences wherein people and threat coming in. So these need to be protected from an Air Force perspective. Command center, this is the most critical system wherein you can actually get the feed of all these sensors put together. And basis that, this decides what is detected, what actions are tracked, and then what the response is. And this is auditable. I mean, this is auditable from a system audit perspective, wherein whether the things were taken rightly or not, the SOP were adhered to or not, and things like that. These are different kind of sensor depending on different kind of again requirements. Face recognition system, as I talked about, very critical system, very successful systems nowadays. And command control is the key at the heart of the system, which actually is a kind of take all the decisions, as I said, and being monitored at the central place. These are some of these systems are already installed in some of the command centers and depots, and I can't name the facilities, but these are installed. So Honeywell, I think just one slide is there, and we can just move on. So we are US companies, and as Sriram was talking about, nowadays the companies are not looking at technology which are coming from within. The most important thing is use the best of the technology, complement it, connect it with each other, and make it so robust that each of the technology is actually helping the other to detect and take actions. So with that, thanks. Yeah? Thank you so much.
I have one question.
Yeah.
You take one question. Just one question.
Absolutely. This is a very good question, and that's where the global way of doing things is. You go and do a site audit and do a security vulnerability assessment of that site. It's called SVA analysis. And there's a comprehensive document in terms of what exactly you are looking in terms of what are the threat perception in the field, in that area. And basis that, you actually design what solutions are required. Right? Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, Kamal.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Very interesting. Just a second. Can we have Anita Bidappa here? Yeah. Anita is on our governing council of IESA. Oh, wow. Right, so. Thank you, Kamal. Thanks, Anita. So the next session is very